In this video, we're going to show you to install the headlight mounting bracket on your INFINITI G37 X, located behind the headlight. Using a 21mm socket, loosen and remove your lug nuts. Now, on our particular vehicle, we have a locking lug nut. We have the key to remove it. If you just have a standard lug nut, go ahead and take it off. Remove the wheel and set it aside. With your front wheel off, the next thing you want to do is on the front fender liner here, you want to remove the series of plastic retainers holding this in place. You can use your trim tool. On our particular model, you just pop out the center and then the bottom will come out after that. I'm going to move to the inside here. Now, this particular vehicle has had a couple clips replaced. Most of the clips will be just like the one that I removed. In the end, you just need to remove the plastic retainers. Some of these break. You might have to plan on replacing some of them because they are fragile. And we have two more across the top here. I want to go ahead and remove those as well. Now at this point, we can grab our fender liner and we're going to pull it down, separating it from the rear portion here. And just work your way around. Now if you need to, you can use a plastic trim tool to go ahead and work this out. Something like this so that you won't damage the paint. You just come around the inside here and just run it down. And then you can peel this down and tuck it aside. Now with the fender liner pulled back, we have our connector here for our light. There's a little tab here. You gently want to pull out on this tab and then pull the connector off. Then you want to go ahead and repeat this process for the passenger side. Now across the bottom side of your bumper, there's going to be a series of 10mm bolts going across. Let's go ahead and loosen and remove these. Now on our particular vehicle, we're missing one here, and it looks like something broke or was damaged along here, so there's some extras here for us. You should just have single 10mm bolts going across. On the passenger side, we need to go ahead and disconnect our fog light by accessing underneath here. Now, we already removed the hardware to pull down our splash shield. And the wires go up, and we can't gain access from the fender well area because the windshield washer reservoir is in the way. So when you pull this down, you can follow the wires up. You're just gonna reach up there, just like the other side, pull out on that little connector tab, and then pull down. And the fog light connector will pop right off, just like so. Now our bumper itself is bolted here using two 10mm screws, one here and one further down. Once we get these two out, go ahead and repeat for the other side. Across the top side of our bumper here, we have a series of these plastic push pins. We're going to use our trim tool here. On our particular clips, you pop out the center and then pop out the base and do this right across the top all the way. Now right here we have a rubber seal as part of our hood gasket seal. Now there are two plastic retainer buttons here. You're going to use your trim tool. You want to pry these up. Some of these are fragile and they may break. You might have to replace these here. I'll go ahead and lift this up. Now that 10mm bolt that secures the fender to the bumper area is right inside here. Now you can use a gear wrench or you can use a 10mm socket and come around the outside here. Loose here. Go ahead and pull this apart. Go ahead and pull that bolt out right there. I'm going to go ahead and repeat this process for the passenger side. On the driver's side here, I want to go ahead and reach on the inside of our bumper and gently tug outward. We're just going to separate that from the fender itself. Let's go ahead and do the same for the passenger side. Now with the sides released, we're going to gently pull forward. Go ahead and grab that bumper, pull it forward, and then set it aside. Using a 10mm socket, we want to go ahead and start by loosening and removing this upper bolt right here. Now remove that. And if you follow this down just to underneath here, then on the side here, we're going to go for this lower 10mm bolt. Now that we have those other three bolts removed, we're going to come back up top and peel back our rubber gasket. And there's a fourth bolt right down here on the outside of this frame section. That is a 10mm, so we're going to use our impact or electric ratchet here. Good, remove that bolt there. Now in the upper portion of the light here, we have this cable running along and it goes into this little notch. So you want to push this forward until that lines up and then push it through and pop that out just like that. Now if you look down here, we have the other wire harness here that comes down and attaches to the side of the headlight right here. So if you follow the harness down, there's an access port right here. I'm going to use a pair of needle nose pliers and pinch the little tabs to release this harness. Go ahead and tilt this up. Now on the bottom portion of our headlight assembly here is like a bulkhead connector. One connector goes in and then powers everything else. On the bottom of this connector, there's a little tab you want to push in on and then pull that connector off. So there's a little tab right here you want to press in on. We happen to use these pliers here to gently go around it and pinch that and just wiggle that connector off. Now at this point, we can grab that headlamp assembly, pull it forward, and then remove it from the vehicle. On the top of your headlight mounting bracket are two 10mm bolts. You want to loosen and remove these. Now on our particular bracket, this side of the bracket was broken. So once we remove these two bolts, we can pull our bracket out. If yours is not broken here, you want to go ahead and remove this 10mm bolt right here. So go ahead and get out that third mounting point. Just go ahead and lift up your bracket and pull this up like this, like so. Now this wiring harness comes down and is attached to our headlight mounting bracket. We're going to use our needle nose pliers again. Pinch and pop that off. You can go ahead and install that harness right on the side here. Line up your bracket. When installing your bracket, you want to make sure that you have two long screws and one short one. You can see that there's a length difference. You want to make sure that the short one goes on the outside here. And the two longer ones are on the bottom. So we're going to bring this back up into place. We want to make sure that we install our wiring harness, so the bulkhead connector here to the back side of the lamp. Let's go ahead and feed this up into place. Once this is in, let's go ahead on the back side and install that connector. Go ahead and grab that harness. You're going to line that up and push that into the back of the connector here. You're going to feel and hear it snap into place. Now you want to follow this harness back up, grab this little connector here, lock that in. And we're going to continue up, and we have our cable assembly. Now we need to take this here, that square tab, put it on the back side of this. So once you feed that through, you're going to pull it backward and it'll lock that little connector into place. We have two bolts on the bottom portion we're going to install. Now we're not going to tighten these until we get the two upper bolts installed. Get this one started, and then we're going to peel this back, and we'll get this bolt started in the back side here. We want to go ahead and snug down our hardware. We're going to push our headlamp back into the pocket of the fender, make sure that is fully seated, and then we'll snug these down. Go ahead and bring your bumper cover up. Line this up, bring your bumper over to the edge here. Install the plastic push pins running across the top portion of the bumper. We're going to get the bolt installed into the front bumper cover. I put some masking tape on the head of the bolt, inserted the bolt into the socket so it holds it in place. Go ahead and get that lined up. Just gently snug that down, make sure that the gap is okay between the bumper cover and your fender. Now our plastic push pins had broken upon removal, so we're able to source some other ones here. Go ahead and repeat for the other side. Go ahead and install your screws here. Go ahead and gently snug that down. Go ahead and get the forward mounted screw in as well. And once you secure this one here, we can go ahead and repeat for the other side. Install the harness for your fog light. And go ahead and repeat for the other side. Go ahead and bring your fender line up into place. As we go to insert this back in, you may need your plastic trim tool. That'll help speed things up a little bit. Okay, once this is all lined up, go ahead and start to install your plastic push pins. And we'll start with our front button right here. And once you have all your plastic retainers set in here, go ahead and repeat for the other side. Install your hardware across the bottom of the bumper here into your splash shield. Just snug these down gently. We're going to continue this process right across the whole front until we get this all secured. Now at this point here, once you're all secured, we can now go ahead and install your wheels. Go ahead and install your wheel. I'm going to go ahead and get all of our lug nuts started by hand. Once we get all of these started, we're going to go ahead and snug them down. We have our locking key. Go ahead and torque down your lug nuts to 80 foot-pounds. We're going to use our locking key first. Then we'll continue with the rest in a crisscross pattern. And you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.